today's show.
Ben Simmons quiets the Nets, Derek White shocks the Nuggets, and KD reminds everyone he's KD.
We take a look into our crystal balls regarding some pivotal games this weekend.
And we count down the top 10 plays of the playoffs so far.
It's Friday, April 19th. The starter starts now.
Good evening, Sweet World, and welcome to The Starters, presented by Jack Daniels, Old Number 7, and Tennessee Honey. I'm J.E. Skeets, alongside me as always, Tass Mellis. We got the Aussie Lee Ellison over yonder. That's the bearded one, that's Trey Kirby.
Hey-yo!
Hey-yo! Trey, what's up on a Friday?
Well, I'm here at the internet looking for your best tweets at hashtag The Starters. And guys, the basketball was fun last night, but the biggest story online, no doubt, was Fartgate 2019, because when a camera cut to the Sixers bench to show Joel Embiid, you could see him and his teammates talking back and forth. Did you fart? No, who farted? That was nasty. Then literally waving away toots. The entire internet was trying to figure out who dealt it, which is why we've got a poll up on our Twitter page at The Starters, where you can give us the most likely culprit. Now let's review who is here. Zaire Smith and Jonathan Simmons, we consider them other choices by their reactions. Joel Embiid, maybe he is protesting too much, but personally, I think it's gonna be Amir Johnson trying to play it cool. We're on to you. James Ennis, also a choice, the way he comes in and out. Tough to say, but that's why you need to get your votes in at The Starters. Let us know who cut the cheese on the Sixers bench. I imagine it was cream cheese.
Okay, get your votes in on that very, very
a literal
important
studio
poll.
groan.
All right. On tonight's show, we're going to look ahead to a very busy NBA weekend. We got your top 10 plays. We got a very solid play from a man in a very solid shirt. But let's start here with a little true or false playoffs edition, looking back on those games last night. Trey.
All right, before Game 3, Jared Dudley said Ben Simmons was great in transition, but just average in the half court. So in Game 3, Ben Simmons went out and dominated the Nets in the half court. Simmons scored a career playoff high 31 points in the win while shooting 9 of 11 in half court sets. Afterwards, said he didn't have the energy for a feud. True or false? Ben Simmons shut Jared Dudley up.
Ooh.
Philadelphia cream cheese. I just got it.
There you go.
Jared Dudley made a mistake. He shouldn't have piped up against Ben Simmons. Usually Jared Dudley is the veteran who doesn't make mistakes, but this was a bit of a rookie mistake because he had Ben Simmons turned up to 100 in this game. And I find it a little bit jarring, a little bit shocking seeing Ben Simmons go 100 because he's one of those great athletes that kind of does everything smooth. He's got a little Vince Carter about him.
Yeah, Trace McGrady like a little bit too.
Yeah, where he kills everything in that sort of that neutral speed. But in this one, he was going full throttle to the rack. He was destroying. And this is the Ben Simmons that the Sixers need because this is when they become unstoppable.
Yeah, well, what Jared Dudley did, though, as a veteran, trying to put the younger guy under pressure and sort of say, hey, we think you've got a weakness and we're going to try to expose it, because what you do on the court is important, but it's also that mind game off the court. And Jared Dudley was just trying to see how Ben Simmons reacted. He got a pretty strong answer from Ben Simmons, but Simmons, this is the sort of thing that he needed as well to sort of show, hey, listen, just because my shot isn't there, I can still dominate a game totally and utterly, even when Joel Embiid is not there as well. And you saw what happened. Simmons, when he doesn't have Joel Embiid there, finds those other guys on the wings, the Tobias Harris and the JJ Redick, and the Sixers were looking much stronger offensively than we saw, not so necessarily in Game 2, but certainly in Game 1. And now this series is really set up for Philadelphia to sort of drop the hammer in Game 4 tomorrow afternoon.
Yeah, the Nets just can't stop the Sixers. It doesn't matter if Embiid's playing or if he's not. These are now 2 games in a row. They've given up 130 plus points, and the Sixers have the best offensive going in the postseason against these Nets. Tobias Harris, you said it, on fire. Redick caught fire in the third quarter there, really blew the game open, but it was led by Simmons. And the Jared Dudley quote, I mean, what it sort of caused this feud, if you want to call it that. It got taken a little out of context. He had a lot of nice things to say about Simmons and how unstoppable he is in transition, but this little part gets plucked that he's an average half-court player, but most people probably would have agreed with that. Yeah. He sort of is.
But what's the point? What's the point of giving the bulletin board material?
Well,
I don't get it. The Nets did not look like the best version of themselves. I think that it just kind of messed them up. You got a guy talking trash for them on their behalf, and then they didn't come back it up. It looked like a really young team out there.
Yeah. I think one thing that Kenny Atkinson might want to do in Game 4, though, is play some of his better players more minutes. Because D'Angelo Russell had it going at times in this game. Karis LeVert had it going at times in this game. But I think some of these guys, I would throw Spencer Dinwiddie in the mix as well, these are your best players. These are your playmakers. Play them more than the minutes they were getting. They need to be up in the 35 minutes per game. And I know like some of those guys are coming off the bench, and that's worked for you in the regular season. But you look at the Sixers, they're playing Simmons a lot of minutes. They're playing Butler a lot of minutes. They're playing Tobias a lot of minutes, even JJ Redick. And you got to do the same, I think, to have any chance, because I just don't think they can stop them enough. So
Well,
you got to
that's-
try and outscore them.
Oh, really?
I think that's all they're going to have. The best chance.
You said they are having trouble stopping them in games 2 and games 3. They just seem a little bit shook to me. And that's the issue. They got to step up. Yes, I'd like to see Spencer Dinwiddie out there because the guy can score. They need scorers. They also need to play a little bit harder. They can't let JJ Redick get all that space. They can't let Tobias Harris get all that space.
Well, they closed that out in game 1, but obviously Brett Brown has tried to figure out a way to make sure those guys get open. Now, whether it's them being a little bit more assertive, coming around those picks, or if it's just the way that they're setting them up. Because I wonder as well, with Joel Embiid not playing last night, if the Nets kind of thought, well, maybe, this is a bit of a chance for us here, and they came out a little bit complacent. Maybe that was a part of it, but I think overall, Simmons, that first game wasn't very good. He heard it from his home crowd. And then he wanted to really respond, and he did very, very well.
I love that Simmons is embracing the heel here, though. He's being booed in Philadelphia, then he's being booed now by the Nets. But he's backing it up. I mean, that's the thing. If you're going to talk your junk and you're going to laugh at, I mean, why did Dudley, to get back to what you said, why did Dudley maybe bring this up? Well, part of it was because they felt like they were being disrespected by Simmons, who started laughing in the press conference with Embiid about the whole elbow and all of that. So, I mean, that's why he addressed it, but I hear what you're saying.
Yeah, no, I thought at first.
Anything.
I thought at first it could have been a LeBron and Wade laughing at Dirk moment where they don't show up on the court after they're laughing at Dirk.
Yeah.
But these guys showed up big time.
Huge game from Ben Simmons. Best game of his playoff career, obviously. All right, Trey, next one.
From the people who brought you George Hill, Danny Green, and Gary Neal comes the latest random San Antonio Spurs success story. It's Derek White. White straight up dominated the Nuggets last night, scoring a career-high 36 points and shutting down Jamal Murray to help give the Spurs a 2-1 lead. True or false? Derek White has been the best guard in this series.
This is true.
Yeah, for sure.
I don't know how the Spurs keep on doing it, just finding these guys, and they come ready to play in the playoffs, and they dominate, not just on the offensive end, on the defensive end as well. What I like about Derek White, compared to Jamal Murray's game 2, or that fourth quarter of game 2 where he was firing away, Derek White seemed very in control of his offense last night, hitting some three-pointers, hitting some mid-ranges, but also getting inside and finishing around the rim.
Attacked.
It wasn't, to me, that wasn't, luck, or he was just sort of had the hot hand. He seemed to know what he was doing. And I believe as well, Popovich sort of said, this is what you've got to do against Jamal Murray. Go inside. Yep. You've got that quick step. You've got a bit of length and that athleticism over him. Take it inside and score.
Because they also don't have anyone at the rim that's going to really deter you and block you in a Jokic or a Plumlee or a
and he's been building. The first 2 games he was good, and then game 3 at home he was just outstanding.
Nobody develops players like the Spurs. I know we talk about Brooklyn, we talk about Budenholzer, but these guys do it year in and year out. It is pretty cool to see Derek White dominate. Unfortunately, on the other side, Jamal Murray is supposed to be the best guard in this series.
Yeah.
He should be the guy scoring 20 per game, but he's only really had 1 quarter in this series where he's looked like Jamal Murray. And the Spurs were all over him, including Derek White.
Yeah.
Derek White is doing it on both ends, and that's why he's undoubtedly the best guard in this series, because he's getting after it and Jamal is struggling. He kept their season alive in the fourth quarter of game 2 with that monster quarter, that 21-point quarter. But it's this Derek White guy who played 3 years of Division II ball and was a 29th pick in 2017. This guy's only in his second year, was the third string point guard coming into the season for the Spurs.
I think it's weird in a series where the Spurs, especially where the Spurs are leading 2-1 over the number 2 seeded Denver Nuggets, and that we are talking more about Derek White and how great he's been, and he's been amazing, when they have LaMarcus Aldridge and DeMar DeRozan. DeMar DeRozan is totally getting forgotten here, and I get it, because it's like, whoa, Derek White, where did he come from? And he's great defense and pouring in 36 points. DeRozan has been steady, though, as a guard. I mean, he's probably truly been still the best guard in this series, offensively. Yeah. That's where you can give a little plus to Derek White. Yeah, but is he still just steady Eddie?
He's already a true Spur if you're overlooking him and he's consistent.
That's my point. That's my point. Amazing podium game, though, from Derek White. All right, final one, Trey.
On Wednesday, when asked about a one-on-one duel with the Clippers' Patrick Beverley, Kevin Durant reminded reporters, "I'm Kevin Durant. You know who I am." In Game 3, he reminded everyone with his play going for an easy 38 points while adding 7 assists in a blowout Warriors win. Guys, true or false? KD let his play do the talking.
That's technically false, because he did enough talking to warrant another technical foul when he was getting into it, exchanging some pleasantries with JaMychal Green in Game 3.
Too much talking.
But it's wisely, and I believe fairly, been rescinded since by the NBA. So that is swiped sort of from his record here in the postseason. Still
Smiling
at 2.
still allowed.
But otherwise, yes. I mean, he did come out. He said, you know who I am? I'm Kevin Durant. And yeah, he did remind the Clippers, he reminded everybody watching, oh yeah, he's unstoppable when he's really locked in. And not only offensively, he had a huge block on Shea in this game. I thought he was dialed in on that end. And like this was a good little wake-up call. Maybe you said it, Lee, on the Drop podcast today, that maybe the Clippers winning game 2 and the Warriors, taking their foot off the gas pedal, maybe that's good in the long run. It's like a bit of a wake-up call.
I bet Steve Kerr doesn't mind it.
Yeah.
Because it does now have to refocus their energy. And Kevin Durant came out in that first quarter. He said he didn't want to take 20 to 30 shots. He took 23.
Right.
But he really seemed to send a message to say, all right, we are the better team. We blew it in game 2. I tell you what, we're not going to blow it again tonight. And that's what a leader does. That's what an MVP for your team does. He sees what happens in one game and then he goes out and corrects that mistake with interest in the next one.
Well, Beverly watches on, yeah.
The Warriors have looked really, really good in this series other than that second half of game 2. They look spectacular. Kevin Durant only shot 8 times in game 2. And as you said, I don't want to shoot 20 to 30 times, but he shot 23 times. But it was the perfect balance. He said, I don't want to shoot that much because we need to play Warriors ball. Everybody touch.
Right.
Everybody was touching it, and Kevin Durant was the MVP. That's how they've won championships. They play ISO, balanced with the ball movement that has won them 3 of 4.
AD, huge game. All right, we got lots more still to come on tonight's show. We got the top 10 plays from the past week of the playoffs. And when we come back, we're going to debate the biggest game of this very busy NBA weekend. There's 11 games on starting tonight over the weekend, so lots to pick from.
The Starters is presented by Jack Daniel's Old No. 7 and Tennessee Honey.
Welcome back to the Starters, where it's time to have a little fill-in-the-blank fun. Let's get into it! Got 11 playoff games on the schedule this weekend. Every one of them means something, even Bucks versus Pistons. Guys, fill in the blank. The biggest game of the weekend is blank.
I'm going with the Rockets and Jazz game 3 tomorrow night in Utah. Utah's been very disappointing so far. Clearly the most disappointing team that we had expectations for coming in. And they haven't put Houston under pressure at all. Their season's on the line right now. Even though obviously if they, they've got home court these next 2 games and they could get themselves back into it. But the way they've played James Harden, the way they haven't been able to hit a shot offensively, there's a lot of things they need to fix very, very quickly, and going home should help them, but it haven't been convincing enough that I feel that they can do it immediately on Saturday night.
Not at all. By 50 points combined that they lost the first 2 games. Blazers Thunder is bigger to me, though, because everybody and their mom, other than Nick DiPaula, picked the Thunder to win this series, and they're down 2-0. They're going home. We're going to get an angry Russell Westbrook, but are we going to get Paul George from the three-point line? That's what I'm sort of concerned with.
I was actually shocked my mom picked the Thunder.
Your mom?
You said everybody and their mom.
Why did she pick the Thunder?
Big Russell Westbrook fan, obviously.
Good,
yeah, who
good
isn't?
for her. I want to see Paul George shoot some threes tonight. I don't know about the shoulder, but if they're giving away points with him shooting 2s, and he's definitely driving to the bucket at Enes Kanter, I'm a little concerned.
All great answers. I will be watching those games that you guys are recommending, but I'm going to go with Game 4, Nuggets Spurs on Saturday at 5:30 p.m. Eastern. This is a must-win game for the Nuggets, and this is a crazy stat, but only once in NBA history has a number 7 seed defeated a number 2 seed in a best-of-7 first-round playoff series. Only once. We've had more 8s upset 1s in the best-of-7 first-round series, and by the way, it was the Spurs doing it in 2010 versus the Mavs, and they took them in 6 games. But I got to see, you're talking about Paul George, you want to see what he can bring in tonight's game. I want to see a big Jokic game. He's had great numbers, he's nearly averaging a triple-double in the 3 games, but he needs to have like a signature game where he goes for 30 or 35. And I think he can get to that sort of level by letting it fly from 3-point distance a lot more. That's the shot they're giving him. And for whatever reason, he's hesitating a little more than I think he should be. In games 1 and 2, he only attempted 3 threes, but in game 3, he attempted 6, went 3 for 6. He's sitting over 40% in the series from distance. I think he needs to jack that up even more because the shot's there. It's a good shot. He's got a pretty looking shot. Let it go. But they need a big Jokic game, and that's huge. If the Spurs are up 3-1, I believe that series is a wrap for the Spurs. Someone that you picked. And your mom? No, not your aunt and your anyone? Okay. We got next one here, Trey.
You guys know I love scouring the internet for the hottest headlines in the game and then pitching them to you like a regular Tim Wakefield. So guys, get on your forecasting hats and fill in the blank. The most shocking headline on Monday will be blank.
I spelled my headline wrong.
Well, you get it right.
Fire your editor.
Which font am I using?
Okay.
What do you got, Lee?
Well, I'm going with no KC.
Okay.
Yeah, this is a bold prediction, but I just have been really impressed with the way that
Humble brag.
Lillard has been playing, and I wonder if Westbrook tonight will be able to play sort of within himself and not get too carried away, because this is what's happened in the playoffs in the past, where Westbrook has been better at handing off some of the responsibility to George throughout the season, but come playoff time he tends to try to do a little bit too much. He can't afford to do that tonight, especially with the way the Blazers are playing, the confidence they have. CJ and Dame have been great. Those role players for Portland have been fantastic. This is the moment. This could be one of those moments, almost like Dirk in 2011 for the Mavs for Damian Lillard, where he carries his team and really does send a message. So,
no KC.
yeah, I'm going to say the Blazers. I'm changing my pick. I'm taking the Blazers.
Blazers in 4. I went with Dynamite. Donovan Mitchell is going to win a basketball
he's due,
game.
eh?
On Saturday, he's going to win a game. And I just wanted to pick a headline that Trey's mom knows. She loved good times.
For sure.
I just don't think Donovan Mitchell's going down without a fight. The numbers are gross. He's shooting 26% from 3. I think everything just turns around in Utah just because it's Utah.
Yep.
It should. They're going to get one. There's no way they're getting swept, and I think it's game 3.
If he has one of those big games, it'll be some highlight reel dunks, some big threes. It'll be so much fun to watch.
All right, guys. We've gotten a lot of good stuff from Amir Johnson. Would you agree? On the bench. Game 1, he got caught looking at his cell phone.
Right.
This was a huge story. People were loving this. Embiid taking a little sneak peek there. Then in Game 3, Trey brought it up. At the start of the show, we had Fartgate 2019. Maybe it was Amir, maybe it wasn't.
As it is now known, yes.
So what is left for Amir Johnson to do on the bench? Maybe knit a sweater, maybe read a newspaper, but I think he should do a little vaping. And that's why Monday's headline is going to be Amir Puff.
Wow.
This is what's going to be the next
What a
thing. He's
setup.
vaping on the sidelines. Yeah, what a setup, eh, Taz? Did I knock that out of the park or what? JD,
sure.
we killed it. Way to hold on that for a little bit.
Nice.
Way to roll the B-roll, guys. I really got to the punchline, and I think we executed it perfectly.
And they play on Saturday.
420, baby!
That's going on the reel.
When we come back, we'll be better. Count down the top 10 plays of the week. Don't go anywhere. Back with the starters, where it's time to count down the top 10 plays from the playoffs so far. I'll start at number 10. That makes sense. Oh, we got a nice slick pass here from Steph Curry to Draymond Green. Yeah, this one's for Ned Flanders, the left-handed dime. Green throws it down. Remember that episode?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah, he's
wow.
left-handed.
I didn't know what it was going to be.
And then they opened a left mark. No,
No, it went out of business, didn't it?
At number 9, Montrezl Harrell.
Oh,
On Andrew Bogut.
pocket pass there, too.
Making Bogey wish he stayed in Australia there for a sec. Two-hander on.
Very nice. At number 8, we got 2 plays here from an Aussie, Ben Simmons. Start with him cleaning up the miss. Little baseline right before the half, a little tip dunk. Oh yeah.
Get up.
Screen. He's yelling at Dudley, you know it. Then a little fake handoff action here.
Oh, wow.
Sort of his signature dunk to me.
Yeah, tremendous
style.
rim hang right here.
Great game. Game 3 from Simmons.
At number 7, we wanted to get one Detroit Piston highlight in this postseason.
We
and
did
here
it!
it is. Glenn Robinson III.
Nice.
Little big dog.
Little sneak attack.
That's not bad. At number 6. Got to send some help to Raymond Felton. He's on an island.
Whoa,
yeah,
whoa,
Lillard's cooking him.
That's pretty good, D.
It was.
Yeah,
It was.
Oh, somehow.
He recovered, but damn.
Looks like he's doing a dance routine on one of those funky ducks. Spinning around, back, forth.
Ends the third quarter. Oh. Staring through your soul. Whoa, watch out for Kenner.
Whoa.
At number 5, Thaddeus Young. He's coming. He's coming. He's coming. He's coming. The chase down block on Al Horford.
Oh,
How did he not dunk that? He must be thinking.
Good job by Boyan. Good job by Thad.
at number 4, we got another rejection. Kevin Durant says no to the Canadian kid, Shea. You know, Game 3 was all about KD's offensive explosion, but it's about defense here.
Look at the length.
At number 3, it's Giannis giving it to his favorite teammate he used to have, Thon Maker. blocking him, calls him his little brother. Well, he's treating him like his little brother on that play, and then going right through his little brother. Hey, kid, this is my rib.
Grown man move right there. Just bang.
Yeah, looks like a skinny Shaq.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
A little more from the Greek Freak. Defense leading to the basically free throw line dunk. It's actually a shame he doesn't want to be in Space Jam 2.
Oh my God. They wouldn't need to animate him.
I know,
Yeah, no
that's sort of the
CGI.
dunk that Jordan does in the first one. Extending there, one step into the line.
But at number 1, it's Derek White of the San Antonio Spurs. Oh! Who says Spurs don't create some great highlights?
White. Whoa. Can jump.
Well done, Lee.
Yeah.
Well done. There it is. Top 10 plays of the playoffs so far. Obviously, a lot more still to come, including a very solid play. "40 games in 40 nights." That's a lie. This is our 20th, 21st, and 22nd playoff game here in about a week. Raptors, Magic, Celtics, Pacers, Trailblazers, Thunder. That's just Friday night, and then there's 8 more on Saturday and Sunday. All right. We asked you. We asked you. Who farted?
I'm suing.
Fartgate 2019, you made your votes. What are the poll results?
47% of people think it was Joel Embiid.
Wow.
34% for Amir Johnson, who was in the Lee role. And guys, it's always Lee. It's always Lee. It was Amir.
Yeah. All right, Lily, VSP.
Amir denied it, so it couldn't have been him. This is a boomerang, an Aussie boomerang from Ben Simmons. Look at this play, beautiful one here. Ends with a gorgeous layup, ends where it started. That's what I call a very solid play, like my t-shirt.
Yeah.
Nice.
Nice. Drop podcasts. We recorded earlier today. We talked about our favorite series so far, which team has disappointed us the most, and Lee explains how to shower when you're trying to get rid of a hangover.
Most of the time, if you've got a hangover, a cold shower will pretty much fix it. Really have a trickle down the back of your neck over your shoulders like that.
Yep.
As a shower does.
Yeah. No, but don't just stand there like with it coming onto your face. Like have it trickle down. The back of the neck is the very, very sensitive
How
part
often
there.
does your back stay dry when you're in a shower, no matter what you do?
No, I'm saying focus the nozzle there.
There's a little life hack for you.
Oh, he's back.
You got cheese.
What's he doing? Is he building a sign here?
I think he's building like a playoff sign. He's got the score at game 1. I mean, I don't know where the game 2 is. Okay.
Great job there, Chief.
We got Chief. I think we got another one. Yeah.
Oh yeah, this is Karim. He was in Brooklyn last night. Put together a nice sign. Good job. Very good job, everybody. Keep them coming for the playoffs.
Nice seats too.
Yeah.
Down there on the
Yeah.
floor. Very nice. All right, that's it for us this week. Enjoy all the games this weekend. We'll be back on Monday at 6:30 p.m. Eastern.
Thanks for joining us, folks. And remember, you probably can't tell by looking at our clean desk now, but this happened pre-show. Watch this. Slick move.
Eat your heart out, white chocolate. Brace the weekend, people.